Good morning, one and all. It is match day. Looking forward to today. I really am. Crystal Palace, not going to be an easy game. Got their peckers up, haven't they? Certainly been reinvigorated. I just wanted to talk about some of the things that Graham Potter said in his press conference. I was going to do it last night, but I got sort of, got that sort of puppyish excitement about me by us being linked with Angel Gomez and Jonathan David, didn't I? So I think we'll talk about it now. I made some notes from his press conference, and I probably haven't spoken for at least 3 days about how impressive I think Graham Potter has been, particularly in his demeanour. I really like the way he speaks in press conferences. I think he gives people a lot. It gives you a lot to talk about. It certainly would be giving the assembled journalists an awful lot to talk about and an awful lot to write. And even if he's just not afraid to answer questions, be it, how busy he's been or the structure of the club, what he's trying to implement. Directly on transfers, no, but he's quite happy to have a discussion about making transfers. He's just not going to talk about specific players, particularly if they're at another club. That's what he likes to say. So yeah, a few things I really noticed with him. First of all, the way he was talking about Souček, he said he was delighted for Souček. You could tell. And Souček is delighted, absolutely delighted to be with. I say he just loves being at West Ham. He's already a West Ham cult hero. He's a West Ham icon. He will go down as a West Ham legend. He really will. You can sort of see it happening. Bowen takes a lot of the limelight for obvious reasons, but when we look back at this time in the future, Souček will go down as a very good player. 32 Premier League goals now. I made the observation the other day. We were doing our Patreon player ratings after the Fulham game, and he's one of life's great survivors. He's the Japanese knotweed of footballers. I said at the time he was like a crocodile. What I mean by crocodile? Crocodiles, basically, they say the crocodile's been around since before the dinosaurs. Comets, tsunamis, ice ages, don't matter. The crocodile's still going, right? He's a crocodile. He's a Japanese knotweed. And you get the idea, right? Doesn't matter. David Moyes, brilliant. He'll play under him. Lopetegui comes in, slightly different. Don't worry, plays under him, carries on scoring important goals. Completely different manager here now, and he plays he's playing under him and scoring goals. You saw them interact if you watched some of the footage from after the game and stuff like that, and you see him on the training pitch. Clearly, there's a kinship there between Potter and all these players, to be fair. I'm just talking about Souček at this particular point. He's like vice-captain, sub-captain, assistant captain, whatever you want to call it at the moment. And he's just doing really well. And, this guy's got a real knack for scoring important goals and has exemplary finishing technique. I think you looking at it from the outside, people have a tendency to think he's just this big lump who comes crashing in and scoring his headers. I don't mean you, because you're West Ham fans. I would say to anyone like that, go and look at his 32 goals for West Ham. And then we'll have a chat about striking technique. And I want to see more. I'm interested. I'm intrigued to see Souček's journey, particularly watching him doing drag backs and various naughty bits in the game against Fulham. So, absolutely delighted, really delighted. Moyes not got a chance. You've seen the rumour pop up at the top. It's not even a rumour. It's just people saying, I wonder if Moyes will come in for Souček for obvious reasons. We all know why he would. And, it's funny, actually. People often use the example of Fellaini, but I would argue that it's funny that Fellaini's still being used as an example because Tomáš Souček has done far more for David Moyes than Marouane Fellaini ever did. But would David Moyes want him? Yeah, you heard Moyes if you listened to his interviews after they lost the other day, and I don't know if you saw Match of the Day, they had that XG stat thing coming up in Calvert-Lewin. I mean, look, you can make all the stats you want. I mean, they might as well have just got a picture of a donkey's arse and a banjo and a picture of Calvert-Lewin, and that would have explained it all. David Moyes said he needed goals. Well, Souček's going to give you everything you want. He wants work rate, determination, goals. Well, I know a player. We can't do it. We mustn't do it. We shouldn't do it. And as long as Tomáš Souček wants to play for West Ham, I'd let him play for West Ham. It's turned into a bit of a Souček loving. Bloody hold on. Nearly done half the video now, and I've not spoken about the other stuff. He said about Ollie Skiles, great debut. He said we want to help him become a regular. He said he was really impressive against Villa, which he was. He said he came on and made a difference. against Fulham. Yeah, brilliant against Aston Villa. Came on, made a difference against Fulham. Totally agree with that. Was really pleased. Now, I alluded to this in yesterday's video. He talks about Paqueta. I've heard him talk about Paqueta on a few times. Now, he said Paqueta needs to feel important. He's fantastic. He can play at such a high level. This is man management. This is man management. It was really interesting listening to. I don't know if you saw when I did an interview before the Bournemouth game with a Bournemouth fan over on the main channel, and he was. I wish I could remember the name of the YouTube channel. Great guy, Craig. Great guy. Really good channel. He was talking to me about the Basque way of coaching, from the Basque region, and about this sort of almost like this godfather of Basque coaching that there was. And it was really interesting. He was talking about the sort of no-nonsense overlord that he was. And there's no... I'm massively paraphrasing here, right? But there's no room for weakness. There's no... You got to knuckle down. You've got to do it, and you've got to do it in this way, and it's work ethic, and it's like this, and of course, brilliant. But not everything's like that, and I think what that does do, when you certainly look at Lopetegui, you think clearly he really struggled with man management. It's not even a debate, is it? For Potter to come in and highlight Paqueta and go right and tell him how important it is, tell him how good he is. That is good man management, because actually I would be more of an advocate of that, which is all different types of personalities, people going through different things in their lives, and people need to be treated differently. It's not everyone the same, no nonsense, one size fits all with this stuff. And I was just impressed. I'm very impressed with how Potter speaks, and I was just impressed with how he spoke about Paqueta. Obviously, the news was revealed yesterday that Paqueta's hearing has been postponed until the summer. There'll be plenty of quiet times when we can discuss that stuff. I have my own ideas why that is. Discuss it another time. But he appears Paqueta's been better. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not just 2 goals in 2 games. It just seems to be. We've still got to play acting. I don't like it. There's a lot I don't like. But you know what? There's a difference between seeing that stuff that you don't like and you're getting nothing back. Then it ceases to become an indulgence, doesn't it? Whereas when you're getting the goals, when you're getting the performance, you can indulge them in that. You know, you think that's an indulgence. I don't like it. Don't like to roll him round. It's a pain in the arse. But if you're working really hard, which he is, and Potter alluded to that, and if you're going to, become a real threat and really give everything for the team, okay, you're going to roll around a bit. We'll sort of turn a blind eye to it. When you're doing nothing, you can't do that so much. I'll do one more thing, because it's we've got a game later on today, and I'm sure we've probably all got to go to Lidl or Aldi or if you're posh, to Waitrose and get your shopping and get back in and do all your family duties before you can watch the game later. But like me, well, obviously not the Waitrose bit, but he said press high when possible. Press high when possible. We want to press. We can't press all the time, but we want to press high when possible. And he started talking about energy levels. Found it again. I've heard him 3 times talk about energy levels, and I think it's not that other people don't manage it, but then or mention it. But he seems to be managing it on a big scale in terms of the team, but individually as well. So I'm hearing him mention it as an overview, but also individually, and look at the way very much. Why did you take Mohamed Kudus? I took him off so he was ready and he was fresh and would have good energy levels for Crystal Palace. So there's an instruction to press, but not all the time, because he's aware that it could sort of deplete the battery, so to speak. So I'm fascinated listening to him speak. Really, I cannot remember the last time I looked. To be fair, it was probably the Bilic ones, but then again, that was different, because we used to go to those. It was a Hammers chat. We're in the good books of the club back then, so we used to go to those press conferences. It's a little bit different. If you're very softly spoken, Bilic, by the way, you couldn't hear him. It's so evident when you're hearing him on a microphone. It was really first time we ever went there. I was just trying to listen to him, and I couldn't. I learned the next time you put. That's why people put the microphones on the desk. I guess you couldn't hear him. I can't remember. It has to be there. But actually on the telly, last time I enjoyed a press conference, there That's it. But actually, tune in now and go on to the... If you haven't seen the press conference, it's on the West Ham United YouTube channel. Good. It's really, 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 really good. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the game today. Final thing. If you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I don't normally ask. I'm going to be asking for this month because I asked one time and it made a difference. I never ask. I've spent years not asking. Basically, underneath the screen there's a subscribe button. If you press it and then the bell next to it, it does it does stuff. I didn't think it did. I thought it was a load of nonsense. It really helps out the channel. So if you like this channel and I haven't completely annoyed you, then maybe you can even give it a thumbs up. But if you can subscribe and press the bell, then you'd be doing me a massive favour. You really, really will, because more people in the future will find this video and the channel becomes more popular, and then more people watch, and I get paid a little bit more. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. It's my job. I'll tell you what, I won't change though. I'll still keep shopping in Aldi.